what you're doing here, don't you? Let me tell you something, bro. You're in big, big trouble. Big trouble. Big trouble.
Now, we've got a late-breaking case we need your help on tonight. Michelle Sagona has the story.
Deep in the Louisiana backwaters, police are following every lead they can get as they search for a convicted killer on the run. His name, Richard McNair. McNair shot a truck driver to death during a botched robbery in 1987 in North Dakota. He escaped from jail twice and caused so much trouble that state prison officials shipped him to a federal lockup. He wound up here, the Pollock Federal Penitentiary in rural Louisiana. From the moment he arrived, U.S. Marshals say McNair began plotting another escape.
I think we can describe him for sure as an escape artist. And every time he escapes, he's perfecting his method. He knows what works and he knows what doesn't work.
This time, police say McNair hid himself in a pallet of mailbags. And on Wednesday, April 5th, a forklift carried the pallet and McNair away.
I do not believe this was a one-day venture. This is a very elaborate escape pod, so I think it took some time for him to create this.
Everything in McNair's plan went like clockwork until this moment.
You live around here, buddy? No. Where you live at? Down the road by Pineville. Pineville? Uh-huh. Okay.
A few hours after the escape, a local police officer stopped a man he saw running along train tracks near the prison. He didn't know it was McNair.
Right now, what's your address? I don't have an address. I'm at the hotel. We're working on houses and stuff like that, roofing. Roofing? Yep. Okay.
The officer's dash cam caught everything as the cold-blooded killer kept his cool and showed how conniving he can be.
What it is, we got an escapee. Oh, Where from? A prison. There's a prison here? Yeah. Hey, this is Carl. Subject wear glasses? Nothing about glasses. Can you find out? I'm out with a white male on the tracks at Gilly Williams.
As he was speaking to the dispatcher, trying to get more information, the dispatcher told him to look for scars on his wrists, and he made him take his gloves off, and he looked for the scars, and he asked, was there any tattoo markings that I can look for?
Any tattoos or anything? Look it over. No, he's clean.
And there was no tattoo markings on the information that we had. He didn't have the scars that they said he's supposed to have.
You're how old? 50? Born in 56?
And while the officer was talking to the dispatcher, he tried to get any information that she might have had that he didn't have to give him an advantage. If this is the individual, then I need to hold him.
Any kind of details you can give me, huh? What color eyes you got? Green, well, kind of a turquoise blue. Turquoise blue?
Everybody can go back and look at the video 3 or 4 times and see something that you probably wouldn't see, but you have to stop and think. The officer is talking to a dispatcher on the cell phone. He's trying to listen to his radio that's on his shoulder. He's trying to interview an individual that's jogging and to make sure that nobody gets into a wreck while we're doing a field interview.
You know the bad thing about it?
What's that?
You're matching up to him.
Come on. That sucks, doesn't it?
Yeah. Now, when I crossed the tracks down there, I saw you running. I said, well, how lucky can I be?
No. I'm not no prison escapee. All right.
That's our quick line there.
You have a good day now.
Be careful, buddy.
Thank you.
All right.
This incredible close call is the last confirmed sighting of Richard McNair. Cops say he probably has plenty of resources while he's on the run because he's stocked up on all sorts of stuff before mailing himself to freedom.
He ordered food items and also municipal items like cortisone, fuel items like high protein, high carbohydrates, things like dry herring, beans.
Corn. Well, if that's true, our next fugitive's really in for it. He's left a trail of angry acquaintances behind him. Some were merely insulted, but others had much more serious charges. In fact, after we showed you his story, even more women came forward to share their horror stories. And a group of them agreed to meet with our Rick Siegel to discuss their close encounters of the worst kind.
There's Daddy Fisher.
Well, it's a hot day. It's almost 100 degrees.
In the 1980s, Ronald Fischer was living the high life.
All right, Ron. We've got the camera on.
Fischer was a Harvard-educated anesthesiologist who flaunted his money and loved his yacht. But over the next 2 decades, Fischer got too big for his libido. Cops say he became a hunter of women, a sex addict who used personal ads to lure women onto his boat and then attacked them. That's what landed him on America's Most Wanted a year ago.
He's a very high-level manipulator. He's a pathological liar.
He pushed her onto the bed. He threw his body on top of her.
We showed you how he ran away in the middle of a rape trial, leaving his lawyer this obnoxious note.
The small chance of losing could carry extremely and unacceptably harsh penalties. I've therefore decided not to take the risk and to leave the U.S. and enjoy life in another country, where I've long been carefully planning a good, safe, secure, and comfortable life.
Despite his absence, the trial continued. It ended with a conviction and a victim denied justice.
I pray that they catch him because he's a dangerous man. He's dangerous no matter what country he's in. He's dangerous to women, wherever that may be.
America's Most Wanted.
We got a lot of calls and emails from people who didn't know where Fischer was, but knew all too well where he had been, because they dated him. More than a dozen women contacted us.
So you said he tried to take you to a swingers party.
How long you been postpartum with him?
Here's a picture.
They knew Fischer as who he claimed to be, a wealthy doctor with a fancy yacht who lived in an upscale part of Rhode Island.
And he basically just comes into the club, have a drink. Well, I mean, what does he do? Does he try to pick up women or what?
For the women who called us, Ronald Fischer's story wasn't just repulsive, it was personal.
I'm Cindy, and I dated Ronald Fischer.
My name's Babette, and I dated Ronald Fischer.
My name is Joy, and I dated Ronald Fischer.
I never thought that I would be dating somebody that was convicted of rape.
My knees buckled, and I realized I was alone in his apartment, and I could have been a rape victim.
3 of the women accepted our invitation to meet and discuss their experiences with Ronald Fischer. Their unique insight into Fischer's personality and his tactics helped us to break down his M.O. Each of the women said they were lured in by an online personal ad that made Ronald Fischer sound like a dream come true.
He told me his name was Ronald Anderson.
I was told his name was Kevin.
He put himself out there as a early 40s physician who liked the finer things in life, was active, well-traveled, and I spoke with him on the phone several times before actually arranging to have coffee with him.
All of the women had high hopes for their first dates, but those hopes were dashed the moment Fischer walked in the door.
He walked in, and I too thought, first of all, he's not 40. He, had a very weathered, kind of pockmarked look and a bad comb-over. And I thought, don't judge a book by its cover. He's very nice. He made complete sentences, and he's breathing. So let's, move on. I thought, he's a doctor. I can go back to his apartment. He plays chess. I mean, my God, he went to Harvard. No danger here. He tried to do the sidling up and the moving down. It's a sectional sofa, so he moved down the sectional, and I moved down a little bit, and then the arm came around, and it really, at one point I thought I must be on candid camera. This is like that bad 70s show where somebody's trying to make out with me, and it was just, he was very fumbly and kind of groping, and he finally said to me, "What's wrong with you? Don't you like sex? Are you frigid?"
Comments like that are classic Fischer. No matter how suave he tries to be, the women say his conversations always come back to sex.
He commented that, he had a party he wanted to bring me to. And it was a different kind of party. And I can be naive sometimes. I said, what kind of a party? And he kept saying to me, "Are you conservative?" And I said, well, in the right situation, I can be conservative. If I'm at a business function, I can be conservative.
This wasn't a Republican National Committee
It was not no, it was not. And he said to me, it's a swingers party.
That's so inappropriate.
And that was a telephone conversation, and I couldn't speak. And I said, no, there's no way that I would do this with you. And he said, well, I guess you are conservative.
If he's doing the swingers thing, he can, that's like pay your $9.99 and buffet all night, right?
So conquers and moves on, or as
he's got all the free sex he wants.
Right. So
conquest. It's the hunt.
It's the hunt.
It's the hunt.
For Fischer, the hunt always involves flaunting his wealth and ultimately luring women to his overhyped boat.
I did go on his boat, and I first thought that it wasn't his boat, that maybe this is someone else's boat. Maybe he's boat sitting.
He talked at length about the yacht and how, on my yacht I only serve with crystal, and yacht this and yacht that. And
it was like white furniture, very cheesy, kind of. Not for a boat of that size, I would think it would have more elegant, maybe just something a little nicer on that type of a boat.
This is that yacht, the Lion King, the boat where Ronald Fischer lured his prey.
It turns out the boat was being completely renovated when police found it last summer.
They discovered that Fischer sold it for a mere $60,000 to pocket the money before going on the run. But even though cops have found the boat and dozens of women have surfaced who have dated Fischer, the investigation, much like the boat, is still high and dry.
That's why we need your help tonight. Fischer is a creature of habit, and we're sure of one thing. Fischer is still out there looking for women to seduce.
You all dated him. You've now met 2 other women who have dated him. Do you know of other women who have dated him?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Just do the math. There are how many women we all know in our circles who've dated him? Okay, so they've told 2 people, they've told 2 people, he's dating multiple people at the same time. How many date rapes?
These brave women have given us some great insights into Fischer. Now let's review the clues that could help you spot him. Cops say he loves the water and could still be living on a boat. He has friends in Brazil and could be overseas. He speaks several languages. He loves playing tennis and chess, and he's a smooth talker with the ladies. Police say he's politically conservative and not shy about sharing his beliefs. If you know where Ronald Fischer is hiding tonight, call our hotline at 1-800-CRIME-TV.
Next. All of the shootings have happened all across the valley.
First, a killer targeted family pets, but now he's shooting people.